So in today's video, we are going to be creating our very first playable level. So what I mean by that is we're going to scratch our current level that we have, just take that away and we'll probably leave some of it, but we're going to get rid of most of it and actually plan out a level that we can go through and play from the start to the end. And once we've done that, it'll be a very simple level so that we can just use it for testing purposes. But once we've done that, we will then start adding in different layers so that we can add in different objects. So like buildings, collectibles like our coin that we just made a few episodes ago, and then also a few objects that will be in front of us, so like trees that we can actually walk behind, so that just looks like there's multiple dimensions to the level, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word, but let's go and start that. So we still need to figure this out first, but before we do that, let's just scrap it and then let's just focus on today's plan. So let's just go to, we need to come up with a number of different layers. So let's see, level design. So we need to create a first level, and then we've got our first level, which is over here. So this is our level that we've got. It's very simple. It's just got a bunch of hills that we have to climb and get over, and then we've got a little enemy that we made that just walks from point A to point B, which is at the end of this flat piece of land there. But let's go ahead and delete this. So on our tile map, we need to first figure that out, but we're not going to do that today. What we're going to do is let's go to our where's our tile map? Open tile map. Let's just use this, and then let's just actually just bring this in here so that we can just design out a level quick. So what do we want? We want to get, do we want to get rid of all of this? No, let's just do this. So we'll deal with what we've got for now. Let's just do that. Okay, we'll make that a little bit flatter so we can, actually I don't like that, so let's do this. Here we are going to just have, it's going to be a fairly simple level, so there's not going to be nothing complicated about it. So let's bring up our player. Let's just move this guy up here, or actually let's move him to the start. So we're going to start over here. Ignore this bit over here. Where's our, let's move our camera. So our camera is, we also, I think, I don't even know if we've dealt with our camera yet, but our camera will start over here, and you're going to see the end of it. So let's just for like a temporary fix, let's just go and fix that up using this. So we'll just drag that out like that. Not that we really need it, but that's what our camera is going to see, so that's fine. Now, when we start the game, we are going to want to travel a little bit, collect a few coins, so we'll have coins along this trail. And then what else do you want to do? Go down a level, and then come up to an enemy. In this case, it'd be now a spider. Then we can have, I don't know, we can put like a bunch of signs over here, and then let's make it like a hill that we have to climb, something like that. And then like another piece of land that we just have to roam around across. And then what else do you want? Do we have like an example level in here? I can't actually remember. Let's go and see. Tile rules, no. 2D platform, sprites, tile set 1. Okay. So that's just our tile. Okay, so what have we got? We can use our spikes. We haven't really we haven't figured out how to set them up properly. But let's go and test out. So if I put a spike in here, see, that's working. I just don't know why it's not connecting over there. So we'll put those spikes over there. It might be, okay, that's wrong. So we need to go and figure out why that is doing that, because that should not be happening. That should be one of the tiles that we already have over here. That should be in place over there. And then these ones should be the default one, which is this dark black one. So for now, let's just go and replace that. Okay, we can't do it because the default tile rule that we made is going to adjust to whatever tile we put there. So if we put that like that, then it's going to adjust to it. So that's a bit of annoying, but it's not a big issue, so we can just leave it for now. Let's see, if we put one of these in here, nope, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. And that doesn't work. Okay, so let's just leave that for now. Just because that's not really going to work. So let's go and get rid of our spikes. Okay, so here we can have like, we'll eventually have something that you can climb up to. So let's put a platform over there. So we also need to fix that, because we'd want a platform over there, kind of like a floating platform, so that the player can jump up onto it. Actually, let's not do that because we haven't implemented our jump yet. So we'll scratch that. What else do we want to do? We want to... This is going to turn out to be a very boring level because we haven't really got anything in it that actually works. So for now, let's just make a level that we can go across. So, okay, so we'll add some stairs like that. Scratch my idea. Here we are just going to put a level that we can work on our, what's it called, our different levels in the scene, if that makes it, different order layers. And then the end is going to be something over here. So we'll finish over here. I don't know, something like that. I mean, it's kind of something, it's stupid, but we don't really need that. Let's just do that, and then we'll finish with that. Okay, so let's go and fix this. So this needs to be like that. I mean, it doesn't really need to be like that, but let's just go and paint it in so that we don't really see it on the camera. Can I like do that? And then, yeah, I can paint it. So let's just paint that like that, just so it looks decent. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but we don't really want to have our camera seeing the bottom. So let's do that, make it all look the same. Okay, so here we have our first level. So let's go test this out and see if we can actually get from the start to the end. So here's our start. If you jump over there, you are just going to fall down straight endlessly. So you're just going to fall forever. So we won't do that. Now, where is our UI? Okay, that's a bit weird. Let's see, canvas. Why is our canvas over there? Let's see, target display 1, screen overlay. That's a bit strange. Okay, so for now, let's just go and move these. Move them back, so let's select them both. And then let's just move them over here. It's not important because we will end up updating them later so that it actually looks like we have UI instead of just, well, not UI, but that is UI, but like an actual coin indicator. So we'll have a picture of an actual coin, and then next to it the amount of coins, and then the health. We'll use an actual health bar. So there we can collect our first coin. You can see our coin health, coin indicator has gone up, and then we can roll around all the way. You can see our health is now halved because our health, if you walk into an enemy, you reduce your health by 25 points. That's not final. That was just a test to get it actually working. So that's working. Now let's go and see if we can make it all the way to the end of the level. You can't run up these stairs, so maybe we'll change that. Maybe we won't. But for now, we'll make it so that you have to jump over them. So when you get to the end, you will also end up falling down. So we're not going to do that. Well, we are, but let's go and start working on our layer. So our player is, where's our player? Our player is at 0. Our grid is at 0. Our tile map is also at 0. Okay, so we're going to create a few layers. So let's just save this. Now, let's see. Let's create... We have different layers. We have a default layer, we have transparent, ignore raycast, we have player, water, and UI. Okay, so what we want is we are going to want, let's say about 6, no, it has to be about an uneven number. So let's say about 5 more layers, disregarding the amount that we'll use for our different backgrounds. Because when we walk through the scene of the level, we're going to make it so that the backgrounds have some kind of parallax effect, so that when you walk from point A or from the start to the end, the different layers or the different order of the backgrounds move at different rates. So it looks like some of them are a lot further than the others. So that is going to have to use a number of different layers. But for now, we'll create a background layer. Background layer. Then we want to have our, what do we want? We want, I don't know what to name them. So we want a background layer. Then we want one that's at very front. So let's go and say, well, first of all, the one in the middle is going to be our default layer. So I want to call them default, but it's already a default layer. And because of the order of these, we can't really do that. Okay, let's rather do this. So let's do it in here. So we want to have our default layer is in the middle. Okay, so let's create another level, another layer, and this one is going to be actually, for our default level, we'll create our player layer in the middle, so that our player is going to be in the middle. So there's going to be a few layers behind it and layers in front of it. So different objects will be behind the player, and then some of them will be in front of it. So we'll create another 2 layers. So our one at the very back is going to be our background. So that's going to have all our backgrounds on it. Then I don't know if you can delete that, but let's just put that there because we don't really need it. Then we'll put another one over here, and this one's going to be object. What is it going to be? -1. And then these are not the best names, but we'll do that. Object -1, object 1, and then object 2. Or does it have to be the opposite way? I think it has to be. Which way does it work? So let's go to our scene quick and then just flip into 3D. Now where's our player? The player's over here. Okay, so if we move our player along the z-axis, going towards us is going to be negative. Okay, so it's going to be the opposite of what we've just done. So let's go back to our layers and edit those. So sorting layer, object, let's see, object layer 1, object layer -1, and then this is going to be object layer -2. Okay, so that's fine. Now on our player, we need to go and add this. So on our player, we are going to want our, where is it? Sorting layer. We are going to want our player, and then the grid is also going to be, we can't change that, so let's leave that. We are going to want, actually, let's go make a completely different layer for that. Should we? Let's just do it. So we'll change the object layer 1 to be our grid, and then if we need anything else, we'll slot in a different layer between our grid and our background. So for our tile map, let's go and put our tile map on our grid. And then what else do we have? We have our spider. Now I kind of want our enemies to be in front of our player, so let's do this. Let's go and create another layer for our enemies. And we'll slot this one over here. And this is going to have all of our enemies on it. And then for our spider, let's just go and put a, where is it? Sorting layer, enemy layer on it. Okay, so that's fine. Now, let's go and apply all of those changes. Same for our player so that we don't forget to do that. Overrides, apply all, spider. Why didn't that work? Okay, so that's fine for now. Okay, so now let's start doing this. So our coin is going to be on, we want our coin to be in front of us. So let's go and put that on object layer 1. What else do we want? First of all, let's go back into 2D mode. Okay, so here's our level. Now, let's just test to see if this is actually working. When we go and move through our coin, we need to take off our collider because otherwise it's going to disappear. So when we go through our coin, you should see now that it's in front of us, so that's good. If we go and tick that, you can see that it's gone, so that's fine. Now when we go past our enemy, you should also see that it is now in front of us, and you can see it's no longer doing that flickering bug thing that it was when they were two are colliding, because they were on the same layer. So we've sorted that out, so that's fine. And then let's go and start making our level. So start adding some objects into it. So on our, let's override this quick. So apply that, our spider. I don't know why this is not applying it, but it's fine. We'll leave it like that. Okay, so let's go and create an empty object. So this is going to be our objects, scene objects. And we will put this, actually let's go move our UI manager up. Our event system we can put up because we don't really need to deal with that. Our canvas we'll put up there. Main camera, player, grid, kind of like separate or order them in the order of importance. So everything that's important will go at the top, and then everything else will go at the bottom. So scene objects will need to be underneath the grid, and then we'll have things like our player, our spider, and then anything else. So a coin we can go and put in our scene object. So let's just go and see if this works. Let's just make sure our coin is still in front. So let's go and disable our collider, and let's go and see if we can collide in front of it. Okay, so it's still in front of us, so that's fine. Now let's go and start adding some objects into it. So we need to come up with a level design. Now to start the game, let's say we want a house. Where's first of all, let's find all of our objects. There they are, objects. Okay, so we've got all of this. Where are our buildings? Snow, vegetation. Where's our buildings? Elevator, dungeon, furniture, buildings. There we go. Okay, so we have all of these buildings here that we can choose from. Now, let's see. Let's start off with probably just something like this. Actually, no, we don't want that. That's a chicken coop. Okay, so chimney, door, furnace, house 1, house 2. Okay, let's start off with a shed, because we don't really want to start the game off with fancy things. So the scene object is going to be on, what's going to be, our coins are all going to be on object layer 1. Actually, let's create another layer called collectibles. Let's just rename this to collectible, and then we can go and put our coin on that collectible. Okay, so that's fine. Now where we see a shed, we can move into our scene objects, and this is going to have a sorting layer of, it's going to have to be behind our player, so we're going to need another layer in there. Let's go add another layer. So this one's going to have to be behind our player, so this is going to be for, let's just go object, scene, objects. Behind, scene objects behind. I don't really know what to call it, but we'll keep it like that. And then this one we'll put scene objects. What do I do? Scene objects in, why do I do that? In front. Okay, so that, now we have two different layers that we can put objects that we want either behind the player or in front of the player, without having to change the layers of our collectibles and our enemies. So our house is, this shed here is going to be behind it, so we want that one to be behind. So let's go and test that out and see. Hopefully that is now behind our player, so we can walk in front of our shed, And let's just test this to see. If we go and put this in front, we can now see our player is disappearing. Well, it's not disappearing, it's just behind the shed, because there it is. So some of our buildings, we will want that to happen. So we will want our player to walk behind some of the buildings. Why does our canvas keep changing every time we move something? I don't understand why that's changing. That's never happened before. Does our size of our canvas keep changing? That's a bit weird. But anyway, it's not that important. Okay, let's go back. So where is our player? Okay, so we've got our shed that we have here. So this is where our game is going to start. Now, let's see. What else do we want? Let's see. Buildings. So at the very end of our game, we're going to put another building. And this is going to be a more fancier building. So let's see. Let's put our tree house here. So this guy is going to be placed over here somewhere. And this one is going to also be behind our player. So let's put it on sorting layer behind. Now I kind of want it facing this way. So I'm just going to invert that like that. So just going to say -1. Just because I want it facing that way. Just because it looks cooler. Okay. And now in the middle of our scene, like somewhere over here, just because it's kind of like a downhill slope, I'm going to put this well, just because I can. Why not? Let's put this over here. We'll put our well over there, and then along the way we can put other objects. So what else do we have? We have objects, we have barrels, we have books and stuff we'll leave for like actually putting indoors. Dungeon, we're not going to put those in yet because we don't really have a dungeon or need one in this level. Okay, let's put a sign next to here that just kind of indicates which way we have to move at the start of the game. Not that we really need it, because you kind of should know which way to go. Now, let's see. We're going to want to have a lantern. Now, I believe there are some animations for things like flames, so flames that you use for like torches that we can create, and we can actually add a light source to them so that it actually looks like it's an actual flame. So if we're in like a cave, we can attach a light source to our torch, which will only hopefully light up that specific area. So that's an idea. And then what we could also do is we could make it so that the player, when entering some kind of cave sometime in the future, has to have a torch with them. So you have to pick one up. So I don't know if we have those in the assets. Let's go and type that in. I don't know if you can pick those up, but we can make it so that you can pick them up later on, and then maybe you have to light it in like in a fire pit or something, just to add an extra bit to the game. So let's see. Let's go and press play on the game and see what that looks like. So we've just added in a few things. First thing is our shed. Next one is our sign to make it look like we have to walk in that direction. Now I'm just going to move our player this way a little bit, put our player over there, and then all of these need to be over here. Now the problem with doing this is we now have to go and add these all to our specific layer. So our well we're going to want to have behind, our tree house is also going to be behind, and then I already done our index, that's also going to be behind. So everything is going to be behind our player for now, and later on we'll add things in front of it. So this sign here kind of indicates which direction the player should travel, because eventually we won't have this drop off here when we start the game. So you could technically go anyway, but we'll block it off with some like an invisible collider so that you can't move off the edge and then just kill yourself. That's kind of pointless and kind of ruins the game. But I'm pretty sure there was supposed to be a well in there. Or is it? Yeah, no, here it is. Okay, so here's our well. Now let's go and put in, do we have like buckets? We have a bucket. So we can put a bucket next to our well. Let's just put like, say, what's the difference between them? Bucket and bucket. They both look the same. So let's go pop one over here. Let's see, in packages, animations, no, objects. What do we want to put in? You know, just to decorate the scene, I'm just gonna put things in it. So here's a washing line that we can use. Here we can have like a campfire. This is just, what did I do? There's a campfire. For this washing line, I'm going to put this in front of our player. So let's go and say scene object in front. And then this one is going to be behind. Let's go and see add layer. I'm just going to change the name of these to be in front of player, just so that it makes more sense. Behind player. Behind player, in front of player. Okay, so that should hopefully update all of them. So behind player, that's fine. Campfire, behind player. Clothes in front of player. Bucket is going to be the same as the well, which is behind the player. So let's go and put bucket behind player, and then let's move all of them to our scene object. So let's go and test this out. Later in one of the other episodes, we will also add in some sound effects, so some music, probably some like very slow, constant playing sound for the level, and then some sound effects. So like when you pick up a coin, it will play some kind of picking up sound, like as if you just walked into like money or something. And then also for when you get attacked by an enemy or when you touch an enemy, we'll also eventually add some sound for that. But here you can see for our washing line, it's behind our player. And I kind of like that. It looks quite nice. So that looks quite cool. It's nice to see that there is actually more. There isn't more dimensions to the level, but it kind of makes it look like there's more to it because of the different sorting layers. So this one's going to be behind the player, and eventually we will add some fire to that bit. So let's see, fire. Do we have fire? Actually, you know what? Let's go and do that right now. So let's search fire. So here's our campfire. Now we can actually create an animation for this what's called campfire pot. So let's actually do that right now, because why not? We'll do that and then add some coins, and then we'll call it a day for this episode. So let's go and create an animation for this. So where's our animation tab? Let's bring this here. So for this animation, the fire pot, let's go and create a new animation, which is going to be in our assets, animations, coin. Let's see, fire. Let's just put this in under fire. And then this is going to be a new, actually we don't need to do that. We can just go and name it camp fire underscore pot. Save that. Okay, so for that, we are going to want these guys. I don't know why there is more than one. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We'll copy all, drag those into here, and then we should see that fire plays, but let's drag that out so that it doesn't look that fast. Okay, that's a bit slow. Half of that. Maybe something like that. Don't really know what the best speed is, but we'll leave it like that. So that's going to deal with our animation for our campfire. So let's go and see what that actually looks like in our gameplay. So if we just walk up, let's get rid of this. If we walk up to our campfire pot now, we should see that animation constantly playing. I don't know why I did that. I could just walk straight through it. We haven't really dealt with that yet. Okay, so what you're going to see now is an animation for the campfire. Now, we are going to put... That looks quite cool. That's quite nice. I like that. So what we can also do later on is add the same kind of technique to create an animation to our torches. So the torches that I showed you earlier, these guys, these are actually sprites that create an animation. So we can do the same thing to those, and we can put those along the scene and just have them burning throughout the scene. So let's go and continue to the end of the scene and see what it looks like. So once we've done this, we're going to go ahead and put in some coins, and then we can... Okay, so that thing is massive. It's a little bit bigger than I want it to be. So let's go ahead and change that quick. Where's our treehouse? Here's our treehouse. So let's go and say... actually, we probably should just leave it how it is. Well, let's just leave everything how it is so that we're not really changing the scale of everything. But I think we did change the scale of our player. No, we didn't. And we didn't change the scale of our enemy. Okay, we'll leave it like that. Just because I don't really want to play around with the scale, because then everything is not really going to match with each other. Because I think the assets are in a way are built to work with each other. So let's go to our prefabs folder, and we have this coin over here that we can just drag into our scene. So let's go and put one over there. We'll put like 3 in a row over here. So let's put like 3 over there, and then for these ones, actually for scene objects, let's create another empty object and call this collectible. And then for our coins, I'm just going to put all of our collectibles underneath our collectibles object. Okay, so these 3 are going to be... What's this one at? This one is at... Let's go and put this at -3. And then I'm going to put these 2 also at -3, because we want them to all be at the same height, -3. And then this one is at 2 point... Let's put it at 2.5. This one's going to be at 1.5. Actually, let's go and say 1. And then this one is just going to be at 4. Yeah, 4. Okay, so those are all in a line. This one, we'll leave that over there. And then we can put in some more. Let's put one over here, the one that you actually have to jump for. We'll put that at 2. I think you can jump that high. And then I'm just putting these pretty much anywhere around the scene, because they're just for testing the game and giving us something to collect. So that one and this one will have to be... Why can't I select that? That one. That one and that one will have to be at 3. Okay. And that's pretty much it. So let's go and test that out and see if we can collect all of them. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are all working. We can jump and collect that one. Jump straight over the spider, which is quite nice. And then carry on through the level and collect some more. And I believe that's the last one. Yeah, so that's the last one. So in total, we put in 9 coins. So that's perfect. Okay, so that's working nicely. And then obviously at the end of the level, we have our massive treehouse. So that's perfect. Okay, so that is going to be it for today's episode. So thanks for watching. If you made this far, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button over here. And then if you haven't done so, also watch last episode, which I think I'll put over here somewhere. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please do those. And I'll see you guys in tomorrow's episode or the next one, whenever that is. So goodbye.